The Nissan Nation podcast is a presentation of DRB and KGB Media.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? Woo! All things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to Southern California. This is your Nissan Nation podcast. Daniel Groders, man, you got us streaming live there on Facebook, sir. What's going on?
Not much, buddy. Just living the dream out here, SoCal. Looking forward to Went. We got lots of cool stuff going with that. There's tons of cool Nissan stuff popping out in the news these days.
Oh, man.
So I figured it's a good time to chat with you, buddy.
Yeah, dude, we got all kinds of weird things. And Danny, show number 40, dude. Can you believe I can't believe we got past 10, but now we're on 40.
Show's almost as old as it's almost as old as you, Dave.
Whoa, that'll be next show, Danny. That'll be next show. Jeez, we're bringing the knives out early, man. But yeah, pretty crazy, man. We've got a killer interview tonight, and I think this is talking about show 40, man. Our interviews just keep getting better, and we keep getting cooler people within the community, you know?
Yeah, man. That Joel McGuirl. Awesome truck, and he got some really good exposure on the exhibition portal and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna be able to chat with him. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in the Nissan world right now, man.
There is a lot of cool stuff happening, man. You know, we got some engines to talk about. We got some killer warranties to talk about. We got all kinds of things tonight, Danny's. But race news, man. What's going on with your race truck? I ain't heard much about it lately.
Just kind of waiting for parts still. We ordered the shocks. I think I talked about that. Got a fuel cell coming for it. I actually just sent another payment. I sent more money over so they can start working on it again once they get the parts in. Not a whole lot of stuff moving on it. He was finishing up a big race truck build. So yeah, we're kind of waiting on that to be finished up. But yeah, not a whole lot of news in that world. I you know what? I did take a big trip with my Frontier.
What'd you do, man?
So that was nice. I went up to the Sierras, kind of over by Mammoth, which is a big kind of resort ski town. There's tons of lakes up there up in the Sierras. But me and my wife celebrated our 14th year wedding anniversary. Jamie Groders, I love you more than anything in this world. So we went overlanding for 3 days, 2 nights, 3 days. We camped out up at about 11,000 feet, which is, you know, a few thousand feet lower than Mount Whitney, which is the highest peak out here.
Right.
So that makes us pretty cool.
Well, how is sleeping at 11,000 feet or whatever you were at?
Well, as long as you're not moving too much. You know, we had the rooftop tent. I threw a little extra foam in the memory foam in there. So actually, we got a couple of nights of really good sleep. We did hike to a lake, which was like a 650 foot elevation drop in like 1 mile. So we hiked down to it, which wasn't a big deal. But hiking up late in the evening, like chasing the sun back up to the truck, was a little bit of a wind gasper, if you will. Lungs are hurting a little bit at that altitude, no matter what you do. But that was cool. I mean, it was so beautiful. The weather was awesome, and we had a good time. It was a really great time.
Well, cool, man. I mean, obviously, you said you were coming to win. I hear there's going to be an adventure to that, getting you out here. Yeah,
I'm going to be flying into Denver, hopping in the big Niztec truck. There's talks of towing it. I don't know what, you know, we're kicking around a couple different ideas. If we tow it, we'll be doing the Rock Challenge. If we drive the Xterra out, we'll be we won't be doing the Rock Challenge.
It's that simple, man. Come on.
We're kicking around a couple ideas, but for sure I'm going to be flying to Denver and then driving out with Chris from Niztec. We'll be trading off some driving time.
Right.
So, but we're going to be there for the full deal. We're the big sponsor out at that event, so we want to come out and do it right. And if you're going to do it right, you got to get the full Danny for the full time.
Well, you got to have the full Danny, man.
If you don't get the full Danny, you're just going to be left wanting.
all inches of Danny included.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Well, it's also your birthday week, man. So
you know what? It's kind of sad because the last is it 4 years now? 3 or 4 years? I don't even remember.
I think this is year 4.
Yeah. People are starting. There's people complaining. They're like, "Man, when are we gonna have like a real party for you before like you've been gone for your birthday for like the last like 4 years?" And I'm like, "Sorry, man." Like my wife's like, "We can't even celebrate your birthday anymore," or what? I'm like,
tell Dave to move that.
Babe. It's business, babe.
Can he move that event?
Make that race truck money.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. And well, we got all kinds of people here on Facebook Live all of a sudden, but they'll follow me, Dan, but not you, man. I don't know, man.
Right?
I've got up to 1 live viewer. So.
Sick. That's like our full fan base is viewing us all at the same time.
Dude, you're legit when you got one, and it's one of Went's sponsors, Holden Scott, on there. What's up,
Yeah.
Holden? Whoa! Happy to have them on, man.
Hey, those Regal Nissan guys, Holden over at Regal Nissan, they're building a super sweet looking Titan. I don't know if you've seen that thing.
I have.
Is that white? It's a white one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Pro 4X.
It is. It looks like they've done about a 6-inch lift on it, put some larger tires, some fender flares.
Looking good. Also, he just put a brand new hefty front bumper on his Xterra, I think, in preparation for Went. The tube bumper,
right.
Which looks super nice. So, shout out to Holden making the truck look good, bro.
Yeah, man, and it definitely he's such a trip. He's such a trip, man. That rig's gonna be nuts like by next year,
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure he'll be all tight and swamped and
well,
full nar.
And kind of speaking of Went and stuff, I see Expedition. What's on my brain? Exterior Performance anteed up and is now a big sponsor of the event as well. Danny?
Well, you know what? We like to do it big, so everything that we can throw at the event to make sure it's as big and as awesome as we can. That's how we like to roll, man. So, like it is every year, it's going to be an awesome event. So, we want to make sure and give tons of cool stuff away and help it out. Make sure it's a lot of fun. I do expect full moonshine bottle.
Well, of course. Only the best moonshine from the mountains.
Part package, right? Like if you sponsor, you get tickets to the event. You get a mason jar of moonshine. What else am I gonna get?
Oh, I think we're gonna take you to the little Mexican restaurant there, and we'll probably tequila you up again.
Not the margarita and tequila again. We saw that happen last year, man.
we did see what happened there, man, and we've had a pretty damn good turnout this year, man, so far with registrations and stuff, and I know we got car guys and everything on here, but if you are in East Tennessee, come see us, man. Come hang out. We're going to do the podcast from there. Who knows what's going to be talked about then. I think, I don't remember what day it is. It's my own event, and I can't remember what day we're
Thursday? With the live podcast?
Yeah. Is it Thursday?
Thursday, right?
Okay. And then Friday nights, you've got the Rock Challenge, which is always fun to watch. And then Saturday, the big raffle. And, of course, big news is, and I've announced it on Facebook, that Nissan Corporate is going to be there. I believe Friday and into Saturday they're going to be there. They're going to have one of the SEMA Titans. I believe it's that red, white, and blue one, the kind of the throwback.
Well, I'm going to steal that truck.
No kidding, man. No kidding.
I am. I really am. I need a tow truck. I need a tow rig for the racetrack, and that rig is literally built specifically for me. Like WTF Nissan, give me the truck. I'm building a race truck for that thing. It's a chase truck. They built a chase truck. They don't have a race truck to put behind the chase truck. Give me the truck, man. So obviously they're like, you know what? We'll just give it to him at Went. He can drive it home.
Sure. I think that was going to be part of the birthday ceremony.
Pretty sure that's what my birthday present is going to be.
But I know they're going to have that Wounded Warrior Titan, man, the one that they took up to Alaska and stuff.
Yeah, super nice truck. It's got the tan and black and
the camo kind of thing,
digital camo wrap on it.
Yeah, and I've seen that in person, dude. It's freaking wicked.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them to take that up on the hill and get some awesome pictures. That would be pretty fun. But they're stepping it up, man. They're talking about doing a raffle, and there's going to be all kinds of little giveaways they're doing.
Awesome.
I am super happy to have those guys aboard, and maybe we can convince them to give Danny that
sure.
Titan. But Danny, let's get to some news right now. You You were all excited when we jumped on here, and man, you were like, dude, they're coming with some tech, and I want to talk about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And you were like, did you not hear about the engine? And I was like, yeah, I've heard about they were doing some engine. But you were like, dude, this is a game-changing engine. And so, Danny sends me the link, and I've got to go on it. And it's from, how do you say this company's name that reported
Jalopnik.
Jalopnik.
I'm pulling some info from Jalopnik. I've read a couple articles on it now. Basically, everybody has the same info.
Yeah.
Infinity, Nissan. Infinity's basically taking the reins on it. I think because, for one, the technology is probably because it's such new technology, it's cost more. So they're going to have to introduce this type of technology into their higher end vehicles. But so what we're talking about is they coin it the world's first variable compression ratio engine. I'd say on a large scale, because they've been made before, but they weren't worth producing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been a little R&D all over the world for this here and there, but Infinity is the first one to get the patent. The patent's a little bit old now, but they've been developing this for a while now, and they finally have said, you know what, we're coming out with this. We finally figured it out. So they're talking about coming out with this September 29th, I believe, let me see here, I was just reading it. September 29th at the Paris Motor Show. They're going to be coming out and debuting this new variable compression engine. For you motorhead geeks that are really into the engineering behind some of the motors, we've had lots of like new stuff come out with motors in the past 10 years with variable valve timing and valve overlap and cam timing adjusters and stuff like that, which just makes engines more and more reliable. Well, not reliable. I guess the technology makes them more reliable, but more and more efficient. And especially when you're dealing with these really small turbocharged motors, having a variable compression motor is kind of like the holy grail of a motor that's turbocharged, because when you're turbocharging a motor, you want higher compression at the beginning, but once the turbo kicks in, you want to lower the compression because you're going to be bumping compression with the turbo. Now, I'm no engineer, and I'm more of a enthusiast than an actual know-it-all in this world. But through my BMW training, I keep up with some of this stuff.
Shot time.
Yeah, took shot. And if you check it out, it's really amazing how they kind of did it. They have this. It's like a harmonic drive that connects the crankshaft that basically changes the stroke of the piston, that can go from 14.1 to 8.1 as far as compression ratios. It's just, I don't know, it's an engineering feat that's taken a long time to come about, but it's going to really change the game. And basically you're going to see like tiny diesel motor gas mileage, where you're looking at like 40,000 or 40 miles per gallon out of a diesel, where it's like 25, 30 out of a gas motor. It's going to be the equivalent out of a gas motor that you would get out of a diesel, just because you have so much more control over all this, loss to energy that you would normally have. Well, and
you need, your big compression engines, man. You come from kind of the old school Chevy background of, the big 454s, your big block stuff, and you're talking about weight reduction to get the same kind of, piston power that you're getting out of this little, basically 2.0 or something engine.
Yeah, I think they're talking about having a 2-liter. It's kind of like their main motor that they're running at. And they're talking about getting, there's like the 3.5, and they're talking about getting like 27% better fuel economy than the 3.5, and close to the same amount of horse and torque, which is pretty big deal. If you reduce the weight and you're getting better fuel economy and the same amount of performance, I mean, that's like a win-win-win, right? So
sure.
I mean, it's just one more step towards keeping the combustion engine around, not burning so much gas and still having a blast in a car, still having a car that you're just ripping around the corner, drifting the back end around, being able to smash a pedal, hear the revs scream out, maybe you get a little bit more boost noise or whatnot. It's keeping the combustion engine alive. And I love taking the combustion engine to a new level. It's going to be more parts to fail, but at the same time that's how it's always been ever since they started cranking out, push rod motors.
Right. And what was GM's? Their big thing was what they had where they could shut down a couple cylinders and stuff. And
yeah, they're and that's the thing is, like, you shut down cylinders, you still have a giant weight of motor in the front. I mean, it saves some gas mileage and stuff, but in my opinion, what you're doing right there is you're not creating a more efficient machine. You're just creating I don't even know I don't know what to say, but it's counterintuitive for me to have a big giant motor that only half of it works.
Right.
To save a very small amount of gas, because usually when you're in a vehicle that big, I mean, I had a Chevy 5.3 that supposedly shut off 4 of the cylinders when you're on like freeway speed or anything, but like it did it so little that like the fuel economy supposedly that it gave you was like basically non-existent. So there's definitely better ways to do it, and I think this is kind of like I said, this is the holy grail for combustion engine engineering.
Well, it's definitely a game changer, like you were saying. And imagine like strapping this with like a hybrid system too. I mean, you're talking 1,000 miles. I mean, potentially you go 1,000 miles, before you really need to.
Yeah, and while they're debuting this technology, which will eventually bleed out into everything, but they have the patent, so they get to make the first amount of money on it, and they're debuting it in a certain vehicle. But eventually, this technology is going to run into everything else. Yeah, I mean, that's just how engineering works. Someone's going to buy, someone's going to pay them to use their technology. Sure. And it's going to go into a supercar or something along those lines,
Well, and they have
or they're
that
going to develop a supercar with that, because it's something that not only will help knock weight down, but it's going to help bump horsepower up. I mean, the more you can control that perfect torque line for a vehicle, the better.
Well, and they kind of hinted that the next GTR could be a hybrid or something like that, and I could see this technology. You're already paying for $100,000 car, man. This technology fits right in with that. Yeah,
and people think hybrid. They think Prius, gutless, wonder, ugly, flumpmobile. Sorry, people, but there's a couple hybrids out there right now that are in kind of testing stages and stuff right now, where it's super high power electric motors coupled to high strung four-cylinder motors. So it's not like they're taking away power from like a supercar. They're just adding like gnarly torque monster electric motors to supercars.
Right. Well, and this kind of blends in a little bit. I don't know if I haven't really reported it yet, but Nissan's talking about the next Leaf actually being a hybrid.
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, the the compression engine isn't dead by a long shot. I think with the introduction of electric motors and electricity, it's causing a little bit more ingenuity in the way that the combustion engine is integrated into a vehicle. And if you can kind of take best of both worlds and stuff like that, I think the big problem is when you make a lackluster transportation machine that nobody likes and nobody cares about, which just gets you to point A and point B, that takes all the fun out of it. And that's why you see people hating so much on hybrid technology, etc., is because you have, I hate to say it, you have Priuses and vehicles that are no fun to drive, taking you places for $1 per 10, 20 miles or whatever it is.
Well, we look forward to seeing kind of what they're talking about, and I know this is definitely up your alley for sure, Danny.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody noticed. I went into full serious mode and started yammering on about variable compression ratios, turbochargers that kick in at
the last
8.1 fuel ratio.
The last time I worried about variable compression, man, I had a kid, so
I just had to run to the bathroom really fast.
That was Baby Nation show. So Danny,
poop. Wait, what are you talking about, Dave?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But
were you talking about a poop baby or? Never mind. So, anyways, what do we got next on the new Nissan news, bro?
We've got. Oh, what is it? 100,000 miles or 5 years, Danny, to talk about?
5 years or 100,000 miles.
So, and I think we hinted on it in the last show. My personal disdain for the long bed Titan. I think I've probably, if Nissan's listening, they're probably like, screw this guy. He's never getting to test our products again. But they, I don't know if it's an act of desperation. The Titan's been out for a while, but this week they said, "Hey guys, we're gonna put out the best warranty in the big truck market." And by far, I think normal is 3 years, 36,000 on a truck. And they said, "Hey, let's go 5 years of 100,000 miles, man." I think they're not selling a ton of them yet, man. I think the numbers are still where the old Titan was, and they're looking to maybe get a 10% or 15% boost. And I think this is going to do it for them, man. You're playing right into the commercial guys market with the high mileage warranty.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have, especially when people are looking at a truck that's basically ground up, brand new, designed for everything. Could cause people to have a little bit of a hesitance. Hey, they just designed this. It's the first year of the truck. Do I really want to spend that kind of money on that truck? So I think it might be something that's trying to alleviate some of that buyer hesitance for the vehicle. Hopefully I see more of them. I love the standard, I love the big Pro 4X and the Off-Road Edition, or not the Off-Road Edition, but the Pro 4X, and we both hate the standard cab. Obviously, it just doesn't look good. Maybe it's great for a work truck, whatever. We won't even touch on that anymore. But
we beat the shit out of that horse, man.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see, maybe they're doing it because they know they can, because it's an awesome power plant, and they're saying, hey, we stand behind this thing forever because we're so proud of this new power plant. We'll warranty for that long because we know that it's going to be that awesome. So
when both engines are, the Cummins is a fairly new design, but Cummins doesn't put out anything that they're not going to stand behind. And of course, the new 5.6, that's been in the Infinities since 2011, I think. So I think they're okay to stand behind those and say, hey man, Toyota, whoever, you think you're building the best truck out there? No. And are they going to tackle Ford, and where Ford's selling 30 to 40,000 F-150s a month, where they're doing 1,000? No, but they're trying to get their foot in the door, man. And I really do think this should have been when they introduced the truck. They just should have went ahead and did this, but I think they were counting on sales to be a little bit better. and they're a little flat. So what's the best way to do it, man? Say, hey, this ain't going to cost you. This is bumper to bumper.
Yeah, it's a legit idea, I think, on their part. I'm
interested because they're saying it's for the 2017 model. I'm interested. They're going to have to retro and go back on this, I would think, too, with the 2016.
Yeah, you would think they'd try and help out all those peoples.
Because I think the 17s will ship. Let's see, this is what, August. They'll have their shutdown. I think they're probably currently in shutdown for 2 weeks, and then they'll go into their next models, their 17 models. So 1st of September, I think, is when they'll start doing it. It takes about a month to get to production numbers. So yeah, 1st November you should see these 17s with this warranty. Man.
Yeah.
I've got one more thing, kind of a personal thing to me to talk about. Moab, man. Danny, and I haven't brought this up to you before. And my buddy Jason over at the Toyota Trucks and Trails went on about this a little bit. And did you see where some idiots went out there with their magic markers and decided to put their hashtags and stuff on a rock?
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, guys, I don't care if you're a car guy, a truck guy. Please don't go to a national park, and especially a sacred national park where there's caveman writings everywhere. Caveman didn't have Sharpie to write with, so those are special things wrote on the walls, man. Please do not go out there and don't tear it up,
right,
man.
Yeah, don't write your name on a rock and say you were there. I will say, Dave, that I did read, because that picture went pretty viral all over the place. It went quick. The guy replied to it and said, "Hey, listen, me and my daughter have been going out here for years, and et cetera, et cetera. It was a lapse in judgment when I saw it, or when I let her do it. Blah blah blah." He apologized, and he actually donated money to like Offroad,
right?
System. So I would say if something like that did happen, he dealt with it in the right way. You apologize to the community. You take steps to say this is never going to happen again. It was a lapse in judgment, etc. But
I know
you're definitely right as far as don't do that.
I call BS on that a little bit, man. You don't put your Instagram account or whatever on there if you don't want attention, and you guys, social media, it's a phase, and we all use it and stuff, but in 100 years, come on, guys, you can leave marks on just beautiful things like Moab, and you just mess it up for could be a lifetime. Who knows how long that lasts? And they do have laws about this, and there was that hippie chick out there that was tearing up stuff, and I think she ended up going to jail for it. And all I ask, I'm not going to beat up the guy anymore because I know he took a bloodbath on the internet. But if you're on the highway and you pull over and want to get a cool picture of the Red Rocks, don't tear up anything. It's bad enough we have to build roads and stuff that need to be through there, and we've tore up a lot of nature. Don't add to it, man. Don't be stupid, and save the trails, and save the trails for guys like our interview coming up here, Mr. Joel, who we got to know through his Expedition Portal highlight. Me and Danny usually know everybody kind of within the community, the big hitters and stuff, and this guy caught me off guard, man. I don't know if anybody here's on the Expedition forums. They've got a killer website where they talk about just overlanding and adventure. And man, what do I see? This guy's on the cover of it. And then a couple days later, he's on the cover of I forget what the Offroad magazine is there.
Outdoor by 4.
Right. And we had to talk to this guy, man. Of course, you guys know from the previous 39 episodes, if we don't mention Xterra in one episode, something's wrong, man. And this guy, he read an interview on the front page of the forum where they were kind of talking about underrated vehicles and bargain vehicles, and seen the Xterra and just took off with it. So, Danny, let's get to that interview and see what Mr. Joel's up to. All right, so tonight, guys, we have a very special guest. For those that are on Expedition Portal and a few other publications, we got Mr. Joel McGuirl. What's going on, man?
What's up, gentlemen?
We are doing good here. I'm Tennessee, Danny's California, and you're in Florida, man. We're trying to get the trifecta going here with the country.
I think we got it covered. Yeah, we got it covered.
So, man, obviously Nissan is near and dear to our hearts. We'll just start with it. What got you to the Xterra?
Well, let's see. Xterra. I could afford it. That's really where it started. I don't know. About 4 years ago. I don't know really what got me into the whole off-roading, overlanding thing, but maybe Expedition Portal, maybe that's what I came by. I don't know. I really don't know, but all of a sudden I started looking at rigs and I thought, obviously I'm on a budget like anyone else.
Sure.
So started looking around. Toyota, way out of my range, anything that was decent. So it came down to, that's right. It came down to an article in Expo about, I think, 10 of the best overland rigs under $30,000. Mm-hmm. And Xterra was one of them.
Yeah, I remember.
So I started looking around here. Yeah, and I knew I wanted the off-road edition or a Pro 4X, but still something that was in my price range. So the off-road edition, and found one within a month or so of looking, and it was pristine, mint condition, had high miles, but there was not a scratch on it. The skid plates were pristine, and picked it up, got a good price on it, and 3 or 4 years later, you see, I got what I got now.
So grandma had that Xterra before you and never did anything.
Someone did that did a lot of highway driving. It was high miles. I got it at 135,000 miles.
Right.
And it was 8 years old, so a lot of driving.
Well, but if I remember, you're
well kept.
You're a 6-speed too, right? Is that something you were looking
Correct.
for?
It was something I was looking for at the time. Now that I'm wheeling, I love it for one aspect, and for another aspect, I wish I had an automatic. But, I like it. I love my truck.
Right. And so we've been kind of, we saw you pop up on our radar, and I've probably seen you on some of the Facebook pages and stuff before, but when we saw you pop up on the Expo thing, it was like, where's this guy been? I mean, me and Danny seem to know, especially Xterras, man. We kind of seem to know what's going on in that world, and you kind of surprised us because Florida's not really a hotbed. We've got some friends down that way, but it seems like it's more two-wheel drive guys. Nothing, there's no anthills to climb.
No. It came about, I guess. The guy who wrote the article, Brandon Libby, he and I had been friends on Facebook. I think we met through Instagram maybe, and we just been following each other. And then a few months ago, he really surprised me. He just came up and sent me a message and said, hey, I want to do an article, Nissan centric, overlanding type, and we want to make your rig the centerpiece.
Nice.
And obviously my response literally was, this is a joke, right? But if it isn't, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, he says, no joke, seriously, and just asked me for some photos and a build page, and
so
that's what you see.
Right. So from what I could read on your Expo pages, you were kind of looks like a lurker for a while, and maybe got your vehicle and just decide when you got your vehicle. Did you had a plan? I'm assuming right away, because it looks like from your build thread, you attacked it pretty quickly.
I did. Yeah, I did have a plan, and like I said, I can't exactly pinpoint. It must have been something I saw somewhere, and it brought back memories. I remember my grandparents up in New York had a basement, and in the basement they had this wall of National Geographics dating back from the 60s.
Right. And
I remember looking at them and seeing some of the, the safaris in there and some of the old Land Rovers. And I think something just sparked that, 3 or 4 years ago. And it was probably through Expo or something I saw. And, I was like, I want to do that. and I did, and then it hasn't been cheap, but
never is.
That's why I think I got the rig. So it's a good base, not too expensive. But I was able to do the other things I wanted to do to it to get out to the places I wanted to get to.
Right.
Because, you mentioned, Florida is not a mecca, obviously, for these kind of things. A lot of swamp out here, which is not very fun. A lot of sand. And I knew I wanted to go out west. I love the desert. And I wanted my boys to see the desert.
Right.
So our first trip was to Big Bend National Park. Their first exposure to the desert. And I just love that place. I can't wait to go back, explore more of it.
Well,
and,
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
The Xterra is kind of it's a sleeper vehicle anyways in the off-road community. And then, of course, you got the off-road kind of Pro 4X edition, which is even more of a sleeper within the Xterras because either people know what they have or they don't, And obviously I'm assuming you kind of read up a little bit on this because if you wanted the off-road, you knew there was the locker and stuff, and it was already a capable vehicle.
Yep, absolutely. It had the 16-inch wheels, and it had the better shocks and all that, the locker, the additional lighting or whatever it might be. So, yeah, did a little bit more, did a little research, and that's the truck I wanted. And surprisingly, I found it. I couldn't believe I found it in such a short period of time, in such good condition.
Yeah, I've got friends in Florida, man, that have been looking for four-wheel drive Xteras forever, and they ended up buying a two-wheel drive because they were just so frustrated with the search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It must have been destiny. It just cropped up at the right time, at the right price, and lucky, very lucky.
Well, Danny,
so Joel, you have the truck outfitted quite a bit. Why don't you, and if people go to your build thread on Expedition Portal, or if they read through the that piece that Expo did on you, they can kind of figure out what's going on with your truck, what you've put on it or whatnot. But for the podcast, can you kind of give us a kind of a quick lowdown of what you've done to the truck, some of the stuff that it's like, this is the best thing I've done to the truck to make it super awesome for adventure. You want to kind of give us a lowdown on that? Sure.
One of the most important things you can do to any, I think, off-road vehicle is to get a little bit bigger tires on it. 32-inch tires are stock on the off-road edition, which is better than the S model, the X model, which I believe are 31s or so. So I lifted it a little bit, NIS Tech lift, 3.5-inch lift, put some 33-inch tires underneath it. I think the very first thing I did, I was lucky from one of the Nissan forums. I found a good deal on a Schrockworks bumper, sliders, ladder. I guess a guy had to go overseas for the service and was getting rid of his truck. And so I got a good deal on those, cleaned them up a bit. But I think the best thing, if you were to ask my kids what the best thing of the truck is, I think they like the tent.
Yeah.
It's like a little romper room, tree fort. They still get a kick out of it every time we open it up, and it's great. It's great in the weather. We've been through monsoon storms. It's been bone dry. Been through some heavy winds, and it's held up well. CVT puts out a great product. I love it.
They should love you right now.
Tires, tent. I think those are the basics, and then then I've got a couple other mods on the interior. Smith Overland cargo box that I just put in recently, which is awesome, amazing for
premium
storage.
Yeah, for sure.
If you know anything about trying to store camping gear or recovery gear, it's the only way to go.
It's so easy to instead of opening boxes or sliding boxes in and out. Right. Which I'm dealing with that with my truck because I have a Frontier now, so everything has to be in boxes or it's covered in whatever I'm driving through. So
Exactly.
I just went out this last weekend, and I was thinking to myself, it would be so nice to have like some like weatherproof drawers, like just pull a drawer out, get what you need, slide the drawer back in. You know, all your stuff that you get to somewhat regularly, whether it's cooking stuff and kitchen stuff or whatever it is that you have to get to often. Yeah, I wish so much that I had an Xterra with drawers, man. I'm telling you. And those Smith Overland drawers are like the best product on the market for the Xterra as far as
I agree. Yeah, it's anything comes with a price that's good. So unfortunately, some of the people I've talked to, get a little sticker shock. But anything, if you look at any of the drawer systems, they're a lot more than the Smith Overland, anyways. So
they're hand built. I mean, it's super quality stuff, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, he does top. Kevin does some great work. It's it's like a work of art. Well put together, solid. I'm sure it'll last several years.
Well, knowing Kevin, each one of those is a baby to him. And I've been to his shop. I've been to his shop, and he like literally about cries when he has to ship one off.
That's funny. I had a conversation with him right as he was shipping it, and to be totally honest, I sent him money. Told him to build it. I want it without even speaking to him once. I sent him the money. We did it. The only time we spoke was when he was shipping it to me, and he's like, "Dude, this is the best one I've made. It's my baby. I hate to see it go." And then, like you just said, each one of them are his little child.
Yeah,
and,
I know your
I got
story.
a good one.
I know your story with Kevin, and Kevin was like sweating because I know you had a trip to get to, and
yeah. He promised me a certain date, and I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't things like that don't bother me. But it was getting close, and so I gave him a call. I was like, "Hey, man, you gave me a date. You mind telling me what's up?" He's like, "I'm so sorry. I've been slammed at work. I'll get it to you. I'll work through the weekend." And he did. He literally called me, I think, like on a Sunday, and said, "Hey, man, it's going to be on a truck tomorrow. It'll be there as soon as possible." So
nice.
Very happy with that. Very great guy. I can't wait to get up there and hang out and do some wheeling with him.
Cool.
Well, so do you have plans to come this way anytime soon?
I do. I mean, not this year because just like anyone else who doesn't do this for a living, I have to do something else, and vacation time's been used up. I don't know if you guys followed it, but I was in Colorado for a couple weeks, and
I did see that.
And then I took a week off earlier in the year, so that kind of takes up all of my vacation time this year. So
yeah, the thing with adventure, man, the thing with adventure is it's expensive. It takes a lot of time, and there's no quick way to do it.
No, and the planning of it is a lot of fun for me. For our Colorado trip, I not diligently, but for the most part, for a full year, I kind of did a lot of research and found out where I wanted to go, and followed people who had been there and just photographs and stuff. So Colorado's great, but it's like you said, very, very expensive, time consuming, and I wish I could do it more often. I got to figure out how to do that.
Well, maybe these articles that keep getting wrote about you will help you fund that one.
That would be nice.
All you have to do, Joel, is start a company, grow the company, sell it, and then after you sell it, then you have to convince your wife that you've got to still keep making money doing that, and then you do. That's how you do it.
That's it, huh? That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
So simple.
It's very simple. It only takes a lot, and it's actually more expensive to do it that way, but it seems more right. Anyhow, sorry. That's how I get out.
Yeah, that's great, bro.
It's business. I have to go to Went for a week and a half for business.
Business, yes, business.
Yeah, Danny, it'll be business, all right.
But no, I do. To answer your question, I do want to get up there. A buddy of mine was talking about going up this year. He may go. I don't know, but I don't think I'll be able to make it this year.
That's all right.
Maybe next.
This is the last year of the event, man. It's okay. You're not missing anything fun.
That.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing. So So you said you really didn't have a background in this, and you just, I'm assuming kind of the exterior caught your eye a little bit, or, obviously the price of it did. When you go to do research, Expo is pretty good for overall overlanding and stuff, but Nissan is kind of that fourth brand of them a little bit. It's not Toyota or Jeep. Was it difficult? Did you find it difficult to kind of figure out some, even with like the Nistec lift and stuff? How did you really come across all this stuff?
That was the new X. That's how I did. That's where I got a lot of my info from. Those guys are great over there.
Right.
Any build from the simplest to the most extreme, and I just kind of fished around a little bit, and I think I put a posting up, and I asked just right out. I asked, what would you guys do if you wanted to do this and have this much weight on the vehicle to do this? And a lot of them came back and pointed at the Nistec brand, so I went with that.
Nice, man.
So that's a great forum. It's a great resource. Anyone looking to do anything with an Xterra, the new X has been phenomenal. Nice. I can't say enough about those guys. They're great. Nice.
What kind of roof rack are you rolling with there?
That's a Gobi. I got that from someone off of the new X. It's there's 2 bars on the front of it that were chopped. I don't know why he did that or what that was for. Maybe for a light bar. But it's a Gobi. It's in great condition. It's the Ranger. As much as I wanted the Stealth, I couldn't pass up the price of the Ranger used. So,
that's one. The
it would look better. It would be better with the Stealth for the rooftop tent.
Sure.
I got it such a good deal that,
Well, that's one thing. I'll follow the new X, man, because there's always like somebody parting out, or I hate to be the vulture, but it's like, hey, I need things on a budget.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I came across the bumper and the sliders secondhand as well. I think he was offering something else at the time, and I was like, no, I don't need that. And 6 months later, I was like, oh man, I could have used that. Now I'm turning around spending full price on something. I can't remember what it was. It may have been mud tires or something when I had destination tires on it from when I bought it or something. So
right.
Yeah,
I would have taken the muddies at the time if I'd have thought about it.
I did notice that you've switched to the BFGs. How did you like those on your adventure stuff?
They've been amazing. I've got close to it's my daily, so I put a lot of miles on my truck. It's a little over 30,000 miles on it, on them. They've been amazing. I probably only going to get another 5, maybe 10,000 miles out of them.
Really?
But I'll buy them again for sure. If I don't get the mud terrains, but chances are I won't because I use this as a daily.
Yeah, I'd suggest not if you use it.
I'm in the boat where I have the muds right now, and the only reason I have the muds is because the ATs didn't come in the size that I want. But I'm going to be buying ATs next. Yeah, no, I would. If there was a possibility of me not having to use this quite as much as a daily, so I thought just use it more for for fun. But most likely I'll get the ATs again. Yeah, they're loud too. I'm sure they are, and that's what I loved about these. They were great. I mean, no difference at all. Mm-hmm. And some people even ask me about the rooftop, the tent. Is it loud? Honestly, if I when I take it off, I don't even hear a difference. So
I bet your gas.
I don't know.
I bet your gas pedal does though.
Surprisingly, it doesn't. I think all the other crap that I had on the truck actually does more. The extra 1,000 pounds I have on the vehicle than the tent. A few times I've had it off. Now gas mileage is not really even affected by it. It just sucks all around. Once I started to modify it, it slowly, 1 mile per gallon less here and there and there, and then eventually, now I'm driving across country with it, and
Yeah,
getting 10 miles a gallon or whatever.
Yeah, they say like every 100 pounds is like 1 mpg or something like that. Or 150 pounds is like 1 mpg, supposedly.
Oh, is that what it is? I wish I had known that figure before I did what I did.
It's kind of like, I mean, obviously it's super subjective for what vehicle you're putting on, but you can almost run with that rule of thumb when you're, and I've seen it in my truck, and I'm running aluminum stuff, and I'm still like dying, when I go on a long trip. I'm like, how am I even,
Yeah.
And then you take the aerodynamics away when you put all those bumpers on. Your tires are hitting the wind full force. There's nothing to hide in the front of the truck anymore. It's all wide open.
No. I would love to get an aluminum roof rack, but it's just funds. They come my way. I'll get something a little lighter.
Go ahead.
For adventures, before we hit you up, I read through your build thread and stuff, and you have so many great pictures on here. Obviously, you're a bit of a photographer. I think you mentioned in your build thread something about it's kind of like one of your side passions. Along with all the adventures that you take. Can you kind of throw out a couple of your favorite trips now? I mean, it looks like you've been on quite a few trips, Havasupai and Colorado and whatnot. Give us a quick rundown of some of your favorite trips that you've done and why they were so awesome.
I think the first big trip, let me step back a second. My concept here or the whole idea of this was to take the boys, my sons, out on one big trip every year, whether it was a national park or whatever, until the day they decide they don't want to hang out with Dad. So I'm going to get as much time in with them as I can, and they're really cool about it. So the first place, like I said, they had never seen the desert. We live out here in swampy land or whatever you want to call Florida. So I wanted to show them the desert. We went to Big Bend National Park and, totally blown away by the terrain and the environment and the remoteness of it. Around where I live here, it's, suburbs, it's homes, and, to go off road, you've got to drive a good hour and a half. So to see such remoteness forever and ever and ever, out in southern Texas or western Texas, whatever you consider that, it was amazing. Something they'd never seen. I think they really loved the Grand Canyon trip, specifically for Havasupai.
Right.
Obviously, you've got this oasis in the desert. They love that. The hike in was a blast. A lot. It was. I think we bit off more than we can chew with our hike in now. We're hikers here, but nothing like that terrain. And so the distance into Havasupai took a toll on all of us. We're a little tired there.
Yeah,
by the end. We didn't bring all our gear.
Journey. Yeah, it's
no. We didn't pack all our gear. We put some on the baggage train there with the ponies or whatever, but we did carry a lot in and a little too much. But anyways, the hike in was great. Time there was great. The boys love the water, like all kids.
Right.
So that's probably the highlight of our Grand Canyon trip. We also got to do, unfortunately, my son grew ill. My older son grew ill on the trip, so we got to cut it about half short. But we did get up to Tatahatso, which is Navajo territory on the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. So we were literally able to walk right to the edge of the canyon. We could have driven, but obviously, I was a little leery of actually driving right to the edge. But we walked right to the edge of the canyon and got to take in all of its awesomeness. And then that's when my son was getting sick that day, and we had plans to go to the northern rim to Torweep and Point Sublime and all of that, but we never quite made it up that far. So we kind of turned around and we went back to the Flagstaff area. We did Cinder Hills, which was a really cool environment. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. It's old volcano cinder. It's almost like a sand, but it's not. It's cinder, and It's a very technical, weird type of driving environment, but lots of guys could go out there, and they did. You see a lot of four-wheelers or whatever, so that was great. So we did what we could with the time we had out there. But I'd say Havasu was probably the best part of that.
Yeah.
So that was last year, and then this year we did Colorado. A couple weeks in Colorado. Well, a couple weeks trip. We did the San Juan Mountains, a couple mountain passes, Imogene, Ophir. We had a couple little delays. One of my boys got an ear infection, so that took a little time out. We had to do a little side trip. Another one, we had his glasses broke, so just trials and tribulations of having kids.
Yeah.
So a couple of the things on the trip didn't work out as planned. We wanted to do the Alpine Loop. We didn't get to do that because we had to do a side trip to go, an hour away to another town. So no, it was a great time. Unfortunately, we couldn't do everything I planned on doing, but as long as they have fun, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool, man. I mean, I know every year I do a Death Valley trip with my daughter. She's 9, and it's like it's like she becomes a new person when you get out of that day-to-day kind of grind where you're just like making them do stuff and chores and stuff, and you go out and you just adventure. It's like it's almost like, I know for me, it's almost like they turn into a new person. And I know that my daughter's having a good time, and those are the kind of memories. So I'm sure that they're probably gonna keep those memories in their minds forever. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, the Death Valley, I do want to get there. That's high on my list for adventures here.
Well, so far this is gonna be our 3rd annual trip, so maybe in a couple years we'll still be doing it. We'll see. But Death Valley, I'd never been until a couple years ago, and when we started doing it, it blew my mind how much cool stuff is out there. I was just thinking it was a really hot place. It's a bunch of desert. I mean, I grew up in the desert. I'm like, what am I going to see? More desert, but it's just hotter, But
right.
I mean, we're in hot springs. We're looking at old volcanoes, and it's just so much cool stuff out there. But for sure.
Well, what is the kind of the future of your rig, man? You got anything big coming up for the next kind of step that you're taking with it?
Probably nothing extreme. I think I have it where I really want it. I'll do a couple mods. I think I'm going to get stronger leafs, probably some Alcans. Mm-hmm. All the weight I'm carrying.
Yeah,
you got a little bit of sag there, but there might be some additions to the drawer system with Smith Overland. Something, maybe a little something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, I think he might be. Hopefully, he can work on something. We kind of collaborated on something, so I don't know if that's in the works or not. But I know he's got. I don't know. I ran it by him, see if he can do it.
Well,
let's see. I do want to get. I have no lighting, no aftermarket lighting, so that's definitely there.
Right.
But let's see. Got the fridge. Yeah. No, I don't see much. I think I got it where I want it for the most part. Now I just gotta get out more than I have been.
Yeah. Right. Spend the money on the actual trips, and that's all set up.
Right.
Well,
right. Exactly.
I see some drill holes in your hood, man. What do you got going on there? They seem awful small.
I wanted to power the fridge,
right.
So I didn't want to use the truck battery, the house battery. So I put a solar panel on the hood. I didn't have any real estate left on the roof rack because I've got the tent, and it being the Mount Rainier, it's a larger one. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have any place else to put it. So I put a solar panel on the hood and wired it up to a solar battery and to a charge controller and to a fridge. And the whole time I just installed it maybe 2 months ago, 2.5 months. Yeah, something like that. And the entire time in Colorado, I had 32 degrees of ice cold water and cold food, and it was awesome.
Nice. I was going to say, the holes that I see you drilled in your hood, I don't think that's for ventilation. So.
No. I thought, what the hell? If it doesn't work, I'll just go to the junkyard and get another one if I have to.
Right. Right.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't want to get I'm not the kind of camper, I guess, or whatever it is that sits at a campsite for a day or 2 or 3. I kind of like to be on the move. I don't mind spending the night at a campsite. So getting a solar suitcase didn't make any sense to me. I wouldn't be anywhere long enough to power or to charge a battery. So I figured I need one that's in the elements, in the sun all the time, doing its job. The only place I could find was the hood.
Have you had any problems with it being up there with reflections or anything, or?
Not a single problem at all. No. I considered, any glare or anything. That hasn't been an issue. Then I thought, well, a rock is gonna kill it soon, immediately. The entire way up to Colorado and back, 5,000 miles, whatever. It's held up, not a problem. My windshield, on the other hand, is took a beating, but the solar panel's fine.
I was looking. I mean, I can't recall seeing too many people throw one on the hood of a truck. Man, it was a pretty ballsy move to do that. So hats off to you there.
I put up some feelers. I did see there's someone who I follow on Instagram, and I can't recall his handle, but I think he's Venezuelan. Mm-hmm. He's not. He's a Spanish speaker. And he drives an FJ, and he's the only one. That's where I think I got the idea from. I contacted him. He never got back with me because I wanted to find out how he did it. He never got back to me, so I just went ahead and put a couple holes in the hood and bolted it down, and it's worked fine.
Nice, man. Well, Danny, you got any more expedition related questions?
Well, I was kind of curious about, as far as you and your 2 boys up in that tent. Is it cramped, or because I had the Mountain Bachelor for a little while, and I actually have a Front Runner now, which is, in my own opinion, crap compared to the CVT, which I really wish I had the CVT back. How's the space up there in that tent? You have the Rainier, correct?
Correct. Yep. And it's. Honestly, we could probably fit in another adult up there. There's so much room. We bring up our duffels with us. We got our sleeping bags, pillows, any other games or whatever the kids have up there. We could honestly fit at least one more adult up there. So it's plenty of space.
Nice, cool. Yeah, I'm like that's kind of like the next tent that I'm looking for. Hopefully before I go to Death Valley later this year, because I went on a 3-day trip with my current tent, and one of the big problems is you can't even fit anything in it when you close it up. So it has the mattress pad and that's it. So every single time you close it up, you got to pack up all your bedding and stuff, which is if you're moving every day, it turns it's like you might as well just set up a regular tent or something,
I even have an X-Ped 12 blow-up mattress that I throw in mine that I never deployed on my last trip, but it's up there. So because the CVT pad, it's 3.5 inches, but my old bones needs a little bit more. But so I've got it up there. So there's that, 3 sleeping bags, 3 pillows. There's plenty of room up there, and it all collapses.
I pack like a 2-inch memory foam in a separate thing in the bed of my. The nice thing about a truck is you got lots of space. You can pack a bunch of extra stuff. The problem is sometimes you just pack too much stuff. But I bring like a memory foam, and I unpack it and then put it up in the tent, and then the next day it's time to go, and I pack it back up and close the tent up, and it'd be nice to just fold the tent with all the stuff in there. So I'm looking forward to getting another CVT, that's for sure. A little extra space.
Well, that's the one downfall, though. Like I was mentioning earlier, it uses up the entire real estate of the roof. So if you have any other needs, I think that's why I went with the rear bumper that I went with because it holds a rotopack for fuel.
Right.
You know, I needed extra fuel storage, so my roof wasn't going to do it. So I needed to find something that could.
For sure.
Yeah, nothing like gas.
Well, cool. I got nothing. I got nothing left for you, Joel. I really appreciate you coming on and letting us know, who you are and whatnot. You have an Instagram as well, right? Is it X?
I do.
Venture.
X Venture. Yep. X.Venture. Yep.
Yeah, great photographer. You're always posting up super rad pictures, and I'm always liking them.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
I appreciate that.
That's gold, man. I love those pictures.
Yeah, definitely. Your build thread is just worth the pictures, let alone the information that you can get on it. And what's kind of the best way for social media for people if they want to follow you? Is it the Instagram or?
I think I spend most of my time on Instagram. But whatever. I think that's the best way they could see what I'm up to. And again, I don't put daily pictures up there. I only put up pictures I take with my better camera.
Right.
Not my phone or whatever. So they're not going to be, it's not going to be a daily thing. Mm-hmm. So, they're just up there sporadically. But that's probably the best way. And then I update my build page on Expo as often as I can. But that's usually secondary. So I'd say Instagram.
Okay.
Probably the best way to see what we're doing and what's going on and how the truck looks.
Nice, man. Well, we definitely appreciate having you on, and especially keep us abreast of when you're going to do your next adventures, man, so we can get our listeners maybe to kind of start tracking you a little bit and trying to find you on the map. And it's crazy. We have people all across the U.S. and of course even into South American stuff. So if your adventures ever take you down that way, I'm sure we can find somebody with a Nissan to hook you up there.
Awesome.
But
thanks, guys.
We appreciate having you on, man, and we will see you next time.
Appreciate it.
Xterra Performance has your Nissan covered for any off-road adventures. With aftermarket brands like ARB, CVT Tents, Warren, Heps Designs, Insane Fab, White Knuckle Sliders, and so many more. When you're ready to take your truck or SUV to the next level, search www.xterraperformance.com for the best deals around. Remember, that's xterraperformance.com.
All right, man. What an awesome interview. If you guys would go to Expedition Portal and check out his build, and I think he's Joel Who on Expedition Portal, and follow his Instagram, like he said. Just he's a killer photographer. We really enjoyed just checking out his stuff, and then to get to talk to him and kind of get an idea of what he's about was pretty awesome, Danny. So
yeah, he's a great dude. Cool pictures all over his build thread. Makes you want to get out and do some stuff,
Makes me want to spend some more money that I don't have. But Danny, I hate to, I haven't told our listeners yet, but this is going to be the last show for a while. We're shutting it down for a little bit. I've got a house to somehow move out of, and let's see, September 6th is when I close on my house and move in. Went is the 13th, so a few days later, and I'm trying to copy Danny as much as possible with the life stress and adventure. So we're Went is going to be the next show, Danny.
Yeah, buddy, live from Went.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of excited to get a feel for your adventures with Chris, and that.
Yeah, we're taking a long road trip, so we should have some good stories, and I'm sure we'll have some. I'm sure during the week we'll have a couple good stories pop up, and
nice.
Hopefully not the stories like last time, like the rape cabin and stuff, but maybe some PG stories.
Well, luckily we have the big cabin open that Tuesday this year, so there's no extra rape cabin night. But
yeah,
we need to go pay homage to the rape cabin and pour a 40 out by it or something, man. We gotta.
Yeah, right. We'll fill a half cut can of Coke with a little bit of whiskey, and we'll pour that out. How's that sound?
In that beer bottle, yeah, that can that was cut.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm super excited. We've with Went just we've got a bunch of stuff planned. We've made some changes this year. It should be exciting. I feel like I've just worn everybody out with Went Talk anyways, man. But I'm excited to see all my friends. We got people coming from Canada. Danny's coming from California. Nearly the whole corner of the. If I could get somebody from Washington State, we'd have the whole Americas covered there, man. But soon, soon we'll get those guys here. But so next time, everybody, Went 2016. Maybe the crowd will get us this year and cheer a little more for the Dave and Danny show. Maybe they won't, and maybe we'll do some stupid stuff like the CB talk that me and JR did on that little special I did last week. And Danny, I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect this year. People, I've seen people talk about it, so they're always excited to see you.
Well, I'll try to deliver.
Give them the full Danny.
Like high expectations when I put very low expectations on myself, Dave, and I just show up and I do what I do. So hopefully I can live up to the expectations of everybody.
Right. Did you know that there's going to be a supercharged V8 Frontier there?
Is what's his name? Brandon Becker?
I believe he's going to be here.
Yeah.
From
right?
Cincinnati,
He's talking about bringing that thing out. That'll be really rad, dude. I want to see that thing.
Yeah. So if you're into badass trucks, man, Nissan's bringing them. Hell, people that come to the event are going to bring them. Last year we had Angel's V8 Xterra here, so who knows, man? Who knows what to expect? But
is Angel coming out?
He's iffy right now, man. I forget what's kind of holding the deal up, but he was happy that we moved the Rock Challenge because I know he wants to pay that some revenge, and he's got a wedding. Yeah. He's literally has like a wedding to go to Saturday, so he's trying to figure out somehow that he can do the Rock Challenge and come
up and destroy the rocks.
Yeah,
this time.
And literally rush out and go to a wedding. So
I'll tell you what, if he's about to hit that Rock Challenge, I'm gonna bring a hard hat. Maybe I might bring my racing helmet, dude, because last time he was chucking rocks, and this time he's got Dana 60s under that thing. Mm-hmm. So. And I know his foot hasn't got lighter in the last couple of years.
Right, no doubt.
I have a feeling he's going to be eating that thing if he does come out.
Right, well, there'll be a lot of things being eaten. Maybe we can get you to eat the tequila worm or something this time, Danny. I think me and you both paid on that after the podcast that night. We paid the next day, but so come out, enjoy it. Go to www.wentwindrock.com. Nistec is a huge sponsor. We got White Knuckle that's they sponsor the Rock Challenge. Regal Nissan, who's doing the meet and greet, whatever we're going to call that thing. Heps Designs, Right Channel Radios. I'm missing people, but Mickey Thompson, they're doing something. So come out. Have a good time, have some beers, tell some stories. And for next time live at Windrock, this is the Nissan Nation, Danny. And what are we?
Skitty! We're out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.